In Cali, baby, we're going back to our old days. Pyro love, baby. Oh.
The music going out because he leaving. We got our music, but we can't.
We out here. We dancing in our head. We got the music in our head. Party time.
Go ahead.
Hey, hey, hey.
November 6th started like any other day for the Burns family in Atlanta. Kiana Burns was on camera, dancing with one of her daughters, her smile lighting up the screen.
Go Ryan, go Ryan, go baby, go baby, go baby, go baby. That's my baby, that's my baby, that's my baby, that's my baby.
She looked happy. She looked free. Just hours later, police would respond to a frantic 911 call from the couple's home. By the time officers arrived, both Kiana and her husband Ronell were dead. How does a day that begins with laughter end in such horror? How does a couple admired by thousands, celebrated for their faith, their businesses, their dedication to family, end up at the center of a tragedy that would leave 8 children without parents? Kiana Burns wasn't just anyone. She was a St. Louis cosmetologist who built critique designs into one of the largest beauty and barber salons in the area. She was a mother of 3, a mentor to countless women trying to build their own businesses, and someone known for lifting others up even when she was struggling herself. Ronell Burns was a St. Louis native, a former high school basketball champion who became a Christian minister and financial advisor. He founded Legacy Financial Solutions with a mission to help families build wealth and break cycles of poverty.
How many times the CEO let you into his office and say, hey, come on, sit right here. I'm going to teach you exactly how to get where I am. Well, this next young man has raised up agents all over the country, right?
They put us on a pilot program for the field training observation bonus. And when they put us on that, we went from 30,000 to 50,000 to 70,000 to 100,000. This one we'll do about 180. Oh, and you're going to check everything now. We got more than that. 2 grand almost. Right? You talking about sales on base up. That's the first time I want to be at 10. But that be like $10 on base up.
When Kiana and Ronell got married, they didn't just blend their lives. They blended their families. 8 children total. They ran multiple businesses together, including Six Figure Ambition, a platform focused on financial literacy and entrepreneurship. On social media, they were the definition of success. Maserati Levant in the driveway, designer gifts exchanged on special occasions, posts about God, generational wealth, faith, and family values. Their followers saw proof that with hard work and devotion, you could have it all. Thousands of people looked up to them, commented on their posts, shared their content, and believed in the dream they were selling. But the cameras only capture what you let them see.
Hi, I'm Ronell Burns, and this is my lovely wife, Kiana Burns.
Hi.
Today we're going to talk to you about entrepreneurship and how it greatly benefited our life.
For those that don't know, my husband and myself, we've been entrepreneurs for the last 20 years. And our mission is to bring you guys along to become successful entrepreneurs as well.
And in being in business over 20 years, guys, one of the fundamental things that we believe is that you should never spend all of your business time building somebody else's business. You should be in a position of leverage income where you make money that doesn't require your time. So one of the things that we're going to teach you is what does the wealthy people understand that the poor people don't. They understand how to make money without their touch. We've been taught to go to school, get a great education, graduate, and get a good job. How about go to school, get an education if you choose to, and go own the business where your money doesn't require your touch, because you only have 24 hours in a day. And if you're spending all of your 24 hours building another man's business, you'll never own your own that you can pass down to your kids. We look forward to teaching you.
Behind the polished videos and motivational captions, their marriage was crumbling. They had discussed divorce. They had mapped out how to split their businesses. They were trying to stay civil for the sake of their children and the employees who depended on them. But the foundation was cracking. The move to Atlanta was supposed to be a fresh start, a chance to expand their empire. Instead, it became a breaking point. Kiana found herself isolated, far from the support system she had built in St. Louis. She started feeling what she described as emotional gloom, a weight she couldn't shake. In a moment of raw honesty, she went live on social media and admitted something her followers weren't used to hearing from her. I'm not okay. I need love and support. The woman who spent years encouraging others was now the one asking for help. Have you ever followed someone online who seemed to have it all together, only to find out their life was nothing like the posts? Drop a comment and let me know, because this story proves that what we see is almost never the full picture. What you're about to hear are the real voices, the real moments, the truth behind the brand. But first, let me show you exactly who Kiana and Ronell were in their own words.
What's up, y'all? It's snowing outside. Still got to work. Still got to go make it happen. Get up because you want to, not because you have to. And that's where we've positioned ourselves in our life, that we get up because we want to, not necessarily because we have to. But the fight is never finished. The day is never done. We got to keep on fighting. We got to keep on pressing for what we want out of life and what we want to set our kids up for in the future. And the story about the share with you guys was the story from about, I don't know, let's say, I guess about 7 months ago, something like that. 7 months ago, when my wife and myself, we decided we was going to get a divorce, that we ain't want to be with each other no more. We was just done with each other. And so, and it took me back to 6 months ago when Kiana and I decided that we didn't want to be with each other no more, and some of the things that transpired. And so I remember like it was yesterday. We talking about, we just didn't want to do this no more. She was tired of me. I was tired of her. We was going to go on about our business. And as we sat in the truck and we said, hey, you know what? If we're going to get a divorce, let's be civil. We got kids. We got businesses. We said, well, let's just sit down and just talk about how this all going to work out. Meaning from a business aspect. We didn't talk about why we should stay together. We love each other. None of that conversation was being had. We was done with each other. And so all we talked about, we said, okay, well, listen. We done with each other. We both came to that conclusion, but let's not impact everybody's life that's around us because we just decided we don't want to be together no more. Let's not do that. So I said, let's have a conversation. And we took out a piece of paper, we drew a line down the middle of it, and we talked about how the business was going to go, how we was going to divide the business. And she go her way and I go my way, but we didn't want to compromise and jeopardize everybody else's future because we was tripping. Let's not destroy our businesses. Let's not tear each other's name down. Let's not do none of that because there's kids, there's family members, there's moms and everything that we plan on retiring one day. And just because we decided we don't like each other no more, we're going to forfeit all that. We're going to mess up that for everybody. No, we got to figure out a way how we can work together, be divorced, go our separate ways. Know at some point we're going to get remarried to somebody else, but sustain what we promised the people that's dependent on us and keep that thing going. And when we got through having that conversation, we wrote everything down and we had it mapped out to a T how we was going to continue those businesses on an individual basis, but still reach that common goal and forget about everything else. And see, by the time the night had reached us, God had changed our heart. And I start thinking back to Jesus when he was on the cross. And Jesus was on the cross, and the same very people that he was dying for, he pierced them in the side, and he wanted to quit and he wanted to give up. He didn't want to go further. He looked up to heaven. He told his father, he said, listen, if there's any other way, he said, if there's any other way, God, remove this cup from my head. In other words, let somebody else do this. It got to be a better way than me getting on this cross and dying for everybody. Said it got to be a different way that we can save the earth. He said, but nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done. Nevertheless, not my will. In other words, so he went through trials, he went through hardship, and it didn't even feel good to Jesus going through the persecution and the tribulations. But he was focused on why he was put here on earth in the first place. And I think that's one of the biggest keys to our success, is that in spite of what we go through, see, people think our life's just been rosy, and no, it ain't rosy now. We got a better marriage than we ever had, but our life ain't rosy. We got crap that's happening. If I get on here and tell you about all the crap that's going on in our life, you'll say, I feel sorry for them. But we don't want nobody to feel sorry for us.
Now, y'all know I don't be doing this Facebook Live stuff. I just felt the need to hop on here for just a moment, not long at all, and kind of just talk about life changes. For those that don't know, about 5-6 months ago, My husband and myself, we moved to Atlanta to expand our business. But look, y'all, I'm telling you, if you don't stay prayed up and you don't keep faith, things can swivel in and take you out. I'm telling you, you guys, like the transition, it wasn't necessarily a smooth one. It wasn't a hard one either, but it was something that we chose to do. And when you come to a new state or city and you're trying to learn people and you're trying to learn, you know, the things that they do, and that could be challenging. And coming here with our kids, just us and our kids, you know, it's just us, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got no way. We can't drop the kids off at our kinfolk's house. We can't go, you know. So right now my husband is, you know, at a retreat. I stayed back due to because we have our children here. However, you all, I just want to talk on her because you have to be prepared for life changes, no matter what it is that's taking place. And I'm trying to encourage someone, because things in your life can change for the good or the bad overnight, literally. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't feel like you're a strong enough individual, some things may take you out. Social media, I just can't stand it. It get on my nerves. People this, that. But I'm telling you, it's some strong sisters and brothers on social media that keep me going some days. Like, real talk. I have some very positive people that's on my timeline, and they help me through my gloomy days, because yes, I do have them. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, if I'm being totally, perfectly honest, I'm having one right now. And the reason I'm going live is because sometimes you got to reach out and tell people that you need love, you need support, you need care, you just need a hug. And honestly, you guys, I need that. I need that right now. I mentor so many women. I encourage so many women. I pump life and positivity in so many women. But sometimes I need that myself. And God knows right now, I need that, you all.
On November 6th, just hours after Kiana appeared online smiling and dancing with her daughter, everything fell apart. A terrified teenager from Burns household dialed 911. When police arrived at their Atlanta home, they found both 44-year-old Kiana and 46-year-old Ronell dead. This wasn't a robbery. This wasn't a home invasion or random act of violence. Investigators quickly determined it was a domestic incident, a confrontation between husband and wife that escalated into something unthinkable. The conclusion they reached was devastating. Kiana and Ronell allegedly killed each other. Years of hidden conflict, unspoken pain, and buried secrets had reached a point of no return. So what led to that moment? What pushed two people who had built businesses, raised 8 children, and preached messages of faith and prosperity to such a violent end? The truth is, their marriage had been under serious strain for a long time. Neighbors and social media posts from the months leading up to their deaths revealed escalating tension. Kiana's admission that she wasn't okay wasn't just a one-time emotional moment. It was a red flag that many didn't fully grasp at the time. She had moved to a new city, left behind her network, and was trying to hold together a family and business empire while privately falling apart. Ronell's past added another layer of complexity. Before Kiana, he had a history that included allegations of financial mismanagement and chronic infidelity. He once appeared on divorce court, where an ex-wife accused him of cheating repeatedly and destroying her credit. Those who knew him from St. Louis weren't entirely surprised when similar rumors began circulating during his marriage to Kiana. Was history repeating itself? Were there debts hidden behind the luxury car posts? Was there infidelity that Kiana had recently discovered? After their deaths, theories spread quickly. Some believed Kiana had finally learned the full extent of Ronell's financial problems or confirmed suspicions of cheating. Others pointed to the crushing pressure of running multiple businesses while trying to keep a blended family of 8 kids functioning. Still others noted the toll of the Atlanta move, how isolation, combined with unresolved marital issues, can turn relationships toxic. These are theories, not certainties. The documentary treating this case frames them as possibilities, not proven facts. What truly happened between Kiana and Ronell in those final hours may never be fully understood. What is undeniable is that a dangerous mix of deception, emotional turmoil, financial stress, and unaddressed conflict created conditions for tragedy. What do you think really happened here? Was it infidelity? Financial collapse? The weight of keeping up appearances? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The human cost of this case is staggering. 8 children lost both of their parents in a single day. One of those children made the 911 call that brought police to the house. Try to fathom that for a moment. A teenager finding their parents dead and having to call for help. The trauma those kids will carry is unimaginable. Beyond the immediate family, the wider community in St. Louis and Atlanta was shaken. People who had attended Ronell's financial workshops, who had gotten their hair done at Critique Designs, who had followed the couple online for inspiration. All of them were left reeling. Kiana and Ronell had represented proof that faith and hard work could lead to success. Their deaths shattered that narrative. Their businesses were thrown into uncertainty. Critique Designs, legacy financial solutions, 6-figure ambition. All of it built on the couple's joint vision and leadership. Friends and relatives have pledged to support the children and do what they can to protect Kiana's legacy as a businesswoman and mentor, but the road ahead is unclear. So, what can we learn from this? What lessons does this tragedy offer to those of us watching from the outside? First, social media hides far more than it reveals. The Maserati posts, the motivational quotes, the photos of Kiana and Ronell smiling together. Those were real moments, but they weren't the whole story. Perfection online is almost always a performance. Followers see the wins. They don't see the arguments at 2 a.m., the overdue bills, the tearful conversations about whether to stay or leave. We have to stop assuming that what people show us is the full picture of their lives. Second, major life transitions are vulnerable moments. Moving to a new city, expanding a business, blending families. These are high-stress events. When you add unresolved conflict and cut off access to support systems, small cracks can become breaking points. The Atlanta move was supposed to represent growth for the Burns family. Instead, it became the setting for their collapse. Transitions matter. The support we give people during those times can make the difference between survival and catastrophe. Third, we need to check on our strong friends. Kiana was a woman everyone leaned on. She mentored other businesswomen. She encouraged people in her community. She was the one who was supposed to have it all figured out. But even she admitted publicly that she wasn't okay. The people who appear the strongest are often the ones carrying the heaviest burdens. If someone who's always fine suddenly tells you they're struggling, believe them. Show up. Don't assume they'll be okay just because they always have been before. Fourth, silence can be deadly. Domestic violence and severe relationship strain don't always look the way we expect. Sometimes it's hidden behind success and faith-based messaging. Kiana and Ronell weren't a couple people would have immediately worried about. They had resources. They had platforms. They had influence. But none of that protected them from the violence that unresolved conflict, deception, and pain can produce. When problems are buried instead of addressed, when therapy is avoided, when pride or image becomes more important than honesty, tragedies like this become possible. If this story affected you, if it made you think twice about the people you follow online, or the struggles you might be ignoring in your own life, hit that like button and share this video. Someone in your circle might need to see this. They might need the reminder that it's okay to not be okay, that asking for help isn't weakness, and that no amount of success is worth sacrificing your peace or your safety. Tell me in the comments, what state or country are you watching from? Let's build a community that looks beyond the surface, that asks real questions, and that supports each other when things get hard. And subscribe, because we don't just cover cases for the shock value. We tell stories that matter. We shine a light on the truths people try to hide. Kiana and Ronell Burns built their brand on the idea of legacy, teaching families how to build generational wealth, how to create something lasting. The The tragedy is that the legacy they actually left behind wasn't the one they planned. 8 children are now navigating life without their parents. A community is left asking how they missed the warning signs. And the rest of us are reminded that the brightest smiles can hide the deepest pain. May Kiana and Ronell both rest in peace. And may we all learn to look closer, to ask harder questions, and to reach out to the people we love before it's too late.